So let's have a look at chapter 53 of Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th Canto. Oh yeah, might help. Might help if we share it. Okay, this is a verse. She'd like to read.
Namasya Tambike Apikshnam Swasantanayutam Shivam Uyatpati me Bhagavan Krishnas Tad Anumodatam. Translation: Princess Rukmini prayed, O Mother Ambika, wife of Lord Shiva, I repeatedly offer my obeisances unto you, together with your children. May Lord Krishna become my husband. Please grant this.
So Krishna kidnaps Rukmini. This chapter describes how Lord Krishna arrived in Kundina, the capital of Vidarbha, and kidnapped Rukmini in the presence of powerful enemies. After Lord Krishna had heard the Brahman's message, he heard the message, reciting Rukmini's letter, the Lord said to him, I am indeed attracted to Rukmini. I know of her brother Rukmini's opposition to my marrying her. She has declared herself exclusively to me, and her beauty is flawless. Just as Rukmini's hand is fixed on me, my mind is fixed on her. I can't even sleep at night. I will bring her here, and therefore I must kidnap her after crushing all the low-class kings, just as one might generate fire from wood by friction. Since the solemnizing of vows between Rukmini and Shishupal was scheduled to occur in 3 days, Lord Krishna had Daruka ready his chariot at once, yoked with the horses named Shaibhya, Shugriv, Megha, Pushpa, and Balahaka. He then mounted his chariot and had the Brahman do likewise, immediately setting out for Vidarbha, where he reached after one night's travel. King Bhishmaka, that's the father of Rukmini, trapped by his affection for his son Rukmi, was prepared to give his daughter to Shishupal. He didn't want to, but so he had no choice. Bhishmaka saw to all necessary preparations. He had the city decorated in various ways and had its main roads and intersections thoroughly cleansed, and Brahmins chanted mantras of the Rig, Sama, and Yajurved. Dhamma Ghosh, the king of Chedi, that's Shishupal, having also done everything necessary to prepare for his son's wedded marriage. Oh, hang on. Okay, that's Shishupal's father. Arrived in Vidarbha. King Bhishmaka, he greeted him properly and gave him a place to stay. Many other kings, such as Jarasan, Salva, and Dantavakra, also came to witness the occasion. These enemies of Krishna had conspired to kidnap the bride if Krishna came. They planned to fight him together and thus guarantee Shishupal his bride. Thus, those envious kings went to the wedding with their entire armies and a full complement of military conveyances. Hearing of these plans and Krishna's plan to steal the bride, Lord Balaram gathered his entire army and quickly went to Kundinapur. So, what happened? On the night before the wedding, Rukmini, about to retire, had not seen either the Brahman or Krishna arrive. In anxiety, she cursed her bad fortune, thinking that perhaps the faultless Lord, even while preparing to come here, saw something contemptible in her, and therefore had not come to take her hand. As she thought in this way, the young maiden, whose mind had been stolen by Krishna, closed her tear-filled eyes, remembering that there was still time. Just then, she felt her left side twitch, a good omen. Indeed, the Brahman shortly appeared thereafter, and with a joyful face and sinear movements, he related to her what Krishna had said, including his firm promise to kidnap her. Prince Vaidarbhi, Princess Vaidarbhi, was overjoyed to learn of Krishna's arrival. Not finding anything to offer the Brahman, she simply bowed down to him. When King Bhishmaka heard that Krishna and Balaram had arrived, he went out to greet them to the accompaniment of triumphant music. He worshipped the lords with various gifts and then designated residencies for them. Thus the king showed due respect to the lords as he did to each of his numerous royal guests. The people of Vidarbha, seeing Lord Krishna, remarked to one another that he alone would be a suitable husband for Rukmini. They prayed that from the strength of whatever pious credits they had done, Krishna might win the hand of Rukmini. So even the people there were very anxious for Krishna and Rukmini to be together. When the time came for Srimati Rukmini Devi's visit to the temple of Ambika, Sri Ambika, she proceeded there silently on foot, accompanied by her mothers and girlfriends, surrounded by many guards. Upon reaching the goddess's temple, Rukmini first washed her lotus feet and hands, then sipped water for purification. Thus sanctified and peaceful, she came into the presence of Mother Ambika. After bowing down to the deity, Rukmini prayed, "O Mother Ambika, wife of Lord Shiva, I repeatedly offer my obeisances unto you, together with your children. May Lord Krishna become my husband. Please grant this." So this was the verse that we recited. Rukmini worshipped the goddess with various paraphernalia, accepting prasad. Then she took the hand of a girlfriend and left the Ambika temple. So Rukmini appeared as enchanting as the Lord's illusory potency, who enchants even the sober and grave. She smiled sweetly, her jasmine bud teeth reflecting the glow of her bimba red lips. As she walked with the motions of a royal swan, the effulgence of her tinkling ankle bells beautified her feet. Seeing her inexpressible beauty, the great heroes present dropped their weapons and fell from their elephants, chariots and horses, to the ground, unconscious. On the pretext of the procession, Rukmini displayed her beauty for Krishna alone. Rukmini walked with deliberate steps until she noticed Krishna. Then everyone looked on. Sri Krishna seized the princess, who was eager to mount his chariot. Like a lion claiming his rightful share from a band of jackals, he drove back all the opposing kings and slowly made his exit, followed by his associates. Jarasandha and the other kings, unable to bear their defeat and dishonor, loudly condemned themselves, declaring that this defamation was like a petty animal stealing away what rightfully belonged to the lion. Sri Krishna Chandra Bhagavan ki jai. So he snatched Rukmini from the demoniac kings. They were finally together, even as the arrows were flying towards them. So that's the end of chapter 53. Any questions, any comments? And we can go to the instructions.
One question, Prabhuji.
Yes.
Rukmani Ji rather, praying for Ambika Mataji and Lord Shiva, that this is more like a sort of praying to the demigod for material gain, isn't it? Even though this is all transcendental.
That's the point, I think. You're praying to the demigods, but you're wanting Krishna. So that's acceptable.
Yes.
That's acceptable. Okay. Because that's what even the gopis would do. They would pray to Queen or Prince, Mother Katyani. So Prabhupada said that is acceptable, where you're praying for Krishna. It's absolutely fine. So we can learn from that. If we want, all our life sometimes we may be just, it's here, used to praying for material gains. Is it? Okay. Material gains from the demigods. Okay, so we can continue to pray to the demigods. Just pray for Krishna. Nothing changes. So that is acceptable. That is acceptable.
It's
Yeah. Does that make sense, Nariman?
Yes, yeah. I think that's what Govind Prabhuji told us one day, that we can pray for Lord Ganesh for all the auspicious things in our life and getting Krishna. So we can pray to other gods, but with the aim of something related to Krishna.
Yeah, that's right. Some devotees during Prabhupada's time were praying to Lord Ganesh for, to build a temple. So Prabhupada said, okay, you can continue to pray, but you have to bring $1 million every day to me if you're going to pray to Ganesh. So I think that the point was that we don't really need to pray for material benefits to the demigods. Krishna owns everything. So, okay, thank you. Madhusan Prabhu, over to you.
Okay, Haribo, Hare Krishna. So in this chapter, then, we learn how Krishna stole Rukmini, so-called stole, from the midst of all the other inferior kings like Jarasandha, Shishpal, Shalva, and others. And the purport, actually, this last purport clarifies, it's clear that the perverted intelligence of demons make them perceive things in a way exactly opposite to reality. So this is a perverted intelligence. The demons are intelligent. I mean, even now we see the scientists, all these in the society, they're all very intelligent, but they see that they perceive like, things just the opposite what it actually really is. So they may put emphasis on matter, in fact, rather than spirit. So it's clearly stated that Krishna stole Rukmini like a lion taking his prey from the midst of the jackals. The demons, however, saw themselves as lions and thought Krishna as an inferior creature. Without Krishna consciousness, life becomes most dangerous. So from a Krishna conscious point of view, everything is connected with Krishna, and we know what reality is reality. But once we drift away from that and the intelligence gets kind of, as he says, perverted, then we start to see everything the opposite. We think we are the lions, these demons, these kings, they thought they were the lions. But then they say, how can this little cowherd boy, come and steal away Rukmini just like that? And then, which he does, so that's from a Krishna conscious point of view. We have to try and see in our eyes. That's what we say, our spiritual master opens our eyes, and then we start to see everything from a Krishna conscious point of view, and everything is more real. Okay, Haribo.
Thank you, Babu. Very good. Anybody else would like to ask or say anything? Otherwise, we can stop. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, chapter 53 ki jai.